Hello, hello. How's everybody doing out there? Peasant Chat. We talk to poor people Sundays. That's right. Peasant Chat. Today's Palm Sunday, apparently. I had no idea. When I was growing up, we care about all that stuff. But, once I moved out at 17, it's like you live your own life and you don't care about half of the shit that happens in the world. So today what we're going to talk about is an article that came out a couple of days ago on the Drive, and a couple of other news outlets released it, talking about tuners that were sent consent decrees back in the heavy EPA enforcement of vehicle emissions era, where they were talking about defeat devices, which we went in at length. If you're a fan of the show and you've been around for a while, I went in at length as to what the hell is a defeat device. It could be literally anything, and it's one of those terms that they put like in contracts or in law that is open to interpretation, and that's the issue. Like if you have a savvy enough lawyer, they can openly interpret defeat device, meaning whatever device allows you to bypass emissions controls to allow the vehicle to run properly. And then we went into the weeds that OEM vehicles that you can remove the cats, it'll run fine. It's just going to have a check engine light. But the diesel stuff was the one that was the sticking point. And Corey at PPEI was one of the guys that was hit up the hardest. He was one of the guys that was the main focal point. But I want to kind of make sure that I'm broad with this show and not just talk about him, talk about tuning in general and what it encompasses and how people were affected and how it's still fucked up. Let's be honest. If this Trump administration comes in here and starts giving everyone a break, a la the J6ers, where if you went and got a Starbucks coffee that day and the FBI is like, well, we saw you get a Starbucks across the way when guys were like, being led into the Capitol by the actual, by the security guys, like, come on in, get in here. You went to jail. There are people on record that have gone to jail just by being there. Crazy stuff. And I think Trump did the right thing by, pardoning everybody involved in that stuff. Don't get me wrong. The people that did bad shit paid their price. They were there in jail for like 4 years, but by and large, a lot of people weren't involved. But anyway, let's not get out in the weeds. We'll talk about how the implication that a lot of these guys are going to catch a break. Give an inch, take a foot. You're going to see a lot of people, and you've already seen it with clickbait on YouTube, where people say, now we can do delete tunes. Now we can roll coal on motherfuckers. And I'm like, oh, here we go with the bullshit. So we'll talk about that and many more things. But not before Mr. Bill O'Reilly tells us to do it live.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
It does suck. GMS doesn't suck though. Best cold air intake on the market. Nobody else matters. Hashtag YDBT at checkout and you will get a discount. Again, hashtag YDBT at checkout. You will get a discount on the best cold air intake on the planet. Nobody else matters. GNAFformer.com. I think it's either Amory or YDBT or hashtag YDBT. Also at checkout. Passing on the savings to you. GNAF Performance, you're going to get all your new parts there. Everything. Fuel system, cylinder head, camshaft. Kill the Dolphins cam. Fuck the blue whale cam. What's the beluga whale? Fuck the beluga whale, even though it gets your cell phone back from the bottom of the sea. GNAFformance.com. Parts Arm. Use parts again. YDBT at checkout. Look, you're going to get everything from these people and put a hashtag at YDBT at checkout. You're going to get some money off of used parts, a whole fucking car, a carcass, a burned up GT350 motor. You name it. Partsfarm.com. Total Solution. You want to get yourself some parts, intakes, anything, like blower specific. The guy gets parts. Like you can actually order parts. I know DNA, relax. But Total Solution got some private label shit that I think is pretty badass. And Belloc Industries, a Miami guy that likes to make really nice wheels, and guys that have M4s love the wheels because they can flex the fact that they sell drugs with their M4s. Also, we're going to thank ridgeprince.com/YDBT. You're going to go there. You're going to buy merch, hats, different hats, white and black hats, gray hats, flat hats, curved hats, Dolo hats, Section 8 shirts, 1320 Didio's the hot seller. F1320 shirts, YDBT in long sleeve, short sleeve, green, red, white, and blue, black, white, hoodies, long sleeve, high visibility for some reason. Who knows? And also, if you're considering getting cylinder head work, you are going to send the stuff to Head Games, or you can order cylinder head work through Head Games and type in "gimme head," one long word, "gimme head." You get $400 off. That means there's a lot of margin in his shit, but good for him. Let's say hi to the people here, and we'll get after it. We got Monty 540, Joe Swish, Slow 99, Mini by Madman says we gotta start emotion back up. Let's fucking go. Hell no. I think the dude. Oh, we'll talk about that. Nick, B. Levesh, Douche Down, Frank Donahue, Z33 Camzilla, CB, John Bonanno, Coyote Kelly, Nardi Mercado, I'm Hung Solo, Joe Jackson, Robo Style, Arturo Mosillo, Josh, Travis Anthony, Alex Vallejo, D-Rock Fox, Wesley Stewart, Jared Wells, Tony the Truck Guy, Matt Oliver, Mark Christensen, Paul Ponthieu, Toilet Dumper, TJ Sikorsky, Ken McAllister, 508, Josh, Revit Racing, Bryson Witt says, let's go, putting up the links. Saying, thank you so much. I appreciate you for putting up the links. Scott Franks, AJ, Mini by Madman, Forrest Cloud, Aaron, Brady, Corey Grayley, Lund Racing in the house. The guy works at Lund Racing. He's gonna be a great addition. I guarantee. Hired 2 new guys, and they're gonna be just amazing because they're at the point of their lives where this has to work out. You know what I mean? Imagine if I was to run a company and I wanted to have solid ass employees. Gone are the days where you're like, well, this guy's young and teachable. Nope. Experienced, knows how good it is to have a job like this, rare, and wants to make it work. That's the kind of people you want on your team, and love to have him on. He's going to be great. Trust me, guys. And he is an on-3 kid. He put it on 5 times, though. So we know it works well now after the 5th install. Douche Down, Cole Daniel, Mini by Madman. It's just a spick. Mini by Madman, 94 GT, repeat it, chow. If it's a 10 or 80, you're a 9 driving motherfucker. Pacho, Ian Oz, Matt A, Josh Roy, Thunder Biscuit, Devin, Craig Walls, Bill at Noonan. So, how many bodies did you bury last week? Hey, we got a new construction job coming up. What do you do? I run a paving company. Can you bury some of these jamokes into that shit? Yeah, you got it. Head Games Motorworks. Hey, look at that. Andrew, Cody, Jamoke, A-Hole, South Detroit Entertainment, Parker Performance. Another Lund employee. Again, gets it. Ian Martha, I got to talk to you. You had some like shit happen recently that you alluded to on Facebook. I was like, what's up with homeboy? Slow 99, Tony the Truck Guy, Natju, Coyote, Kelly, Natju, Bryson Witt. Bryson Witt defended the shit out of me against a fucking on-3 hater that got their fast cars by sucking dick. Literally. Joe Swiss, Parker, Cody, SVT50, Bryson Witt. We need on 5 t-shirts. Ridge Prince. We want to talk that shit? Get some on 5 t-shirts going, or on 3 times turbo kits with YDBT logos. And YOLO douchebag should just make a fucking comeback and sell on 3 kits. And sell tuning, because there has been so much material that YOLO douchebag could have as his own fucking channel, because I don't even have to make things up. I just literally act like YOLO douchebag, wearing sunglasses inside, tuning on 3 turbo kits, acting as if I know shit. Like literally so much content out there, but that's for another day. That's for when like I have enough time to do shit like that. Okay, so the Drive, we'll reference a Drive article where convicted diesel tuners could get relaxed penalties under the new federal committee push. Now, this is a double-edged sword. So, my problem... let me read it, and then I'll go into my 20-minute rant. The committee is protesting the EPA's and DOJ's weaponization of overly burdensome regulatory enforcement. Now, big words. The United States House of Representatives Committee on Oversight and Government Reform is challenging the Environmental Protection Agency, the Department of Justice, specifically a letter submitted to the EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin and U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi calls into question the organization's regulatory enforcement authority. It mentioned the weaponization of tyrannical consent decrees against American companies, including PPEI. Committee members believe these arrangements are politically motivated, retaliate against businesses and individuals who spoke out against the Biden administration. Full stop. This was happening before the Biden administration, so I already have issues with that narrative. I'm going to skip all the PPEI stuff because this seems to be like defending him, and I want to make it about the industry, not him. In some instances, the federal consent decrees were based on state laws rather than federal laws and regulations, the letter states, failing to comply with the requirements, which are often extremely expensive for small businesses, and all but ensured the DOJ and EPA would force the business to close, potentially leaving countless Americans without jobs. CARB is notoriously strict on emissions regulations. And under the Clean Air Act, California is allowed to set requirements independent of federal guidelines. I've always said that if you don't want to sell parts in California, your parts do not have to be CARB compliant. But for whatever reason, people made CARB the standard for all 50 states. And that's not how it works. You cannot make laws that are enforced in one state become the norm for the rest of the United States. It doesn't make any sense. Why would someone in Alaska need to be compliant with California emissions requirements? Why would someone in, North Dakota have to do with CARB stuff? Why would someone in Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont need to be CARB compliant? It doesn't make any sense. And there's the letter here. The committee's letter notably remarks on cases not related to diesel tuning. However, it points to Corey's company, who have signed consent decrees. Again, I don't want to make it about him. The subcommittee on federal law enforcement, led by Chairman and Louisiana Representative. There it is. There it is. So I was wondering where the angle was. Why are they mentioning him so much? Well, the representative is a Louisiana representative, and he is in Louisiana. But again, it's not wrong. But again, I'm going to have my say about this. The EPA provided a staff-level briefing by April 25th to assist in its investigation and oversight. The letter asked briefers to explain what's being done to ensure consent decrees are not overly restrictive and leading to costly requirements that harm American businesses. Also, the committee wants to ensure the weaponization of overly burdensome regulatory enforcement is not being leveraged to environmental cases. Long story short, some people were hit up by the EPA without actually, let's just say, egregiously violating federal Clean Air Act laws. That's the best way I could put it. Meaning, if you were selling a cold air intake in a tuning device, let's say, for example, let's say I have an N-Gauge. In the N-Gauge, I have preloaded tunes for, let's say I sell it to the general public, and the moment this thing plugs in, it's going to have what they call canned tunes. Canned tunes are what are in devices for anyone and everyone, and they make changes to your existing setup or just load up a tune based on your vehicle, and in there has options for like JLT intake, which is ridiculous and psycho, PMAS intakes, which is the only intake you should have in your car, and other things. And if either of those parts did not go through CARB, California Air Research Board, then the EPA could have the door open to hit you up and say, you are selling emissions defeat devices. And that jumps through it kind of begs you or makes you jump through some hoops and make some leaps in assumptions that California is federal. No, CARB is not federal. I don't care what anyone says. That's why I think PRI and SEMA acting like they are responsible for actually getting after it. No. If anything, Corey has been more influential and he has put his money where his mouth is when it comes to that kind of enforcement. He's like, wait a minute, you send me a consent decree. If I just stop selling in California, I should be Gucci, right? I should be Gucci because fuck California. Right? No, the EPA was like, well, they are kind of the standard bearer for emissions compliance, so we're going to just lean on them. And again, many leaps were taken, so they do have an opening, and I think they have a proper case. Now, let's do the flip side. If you violated federal Clean Air Act laws, and the EPA went in there and caught you manipulating your diesel truck, which does not run the moment you remove the particulate filter, right? The DPF, the diesel particulate filter, if you remove it from a truck that has a diesel particulate filter, it won't run, right? I'm not going to interview Corey Willis. I have no interest. Nothing against him. I hate diesel people. This, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to get after it. So if you remove, guys, on the chat, let's see. Let me take a bit of a inventory of what I got going on here. If you delete your particulate filter and you now have to tune it to make it run, are you defeating emissions controls? Type in yes or no on the chat and we'll see who the fuck I'm dealing with before I go any further. Go ahead. Are you defeating emissions controls if by deleting the DPF and tuning it is the only way that it would run with a deleted DPF? Coyote Kelly says yes. Oscar, yes. 10 sec, yes. No no's. No no's. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm dealing with people that get it. I love it. I'm waiting for a no so I can yell at them, but you guys get it. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Fuck yes. Nardi Mercado. Okay. If you were sent a consent decree because you did that, do you deserve your sentence reduced or fine reduced? Again, if you were caught deleting particulate filters, tuning the trucks to run without a DPF, should you have gotten fined and should you get a break on that fine? Yes or no? Okay. Kenneth says yes. All Stock Garage says yes. So what's the problem? This is the problem. They were using CARB. The government was using CARB as the standard of which they enforced the Clean Air Act law, which was federal. But if you were somewhere ripping off, sawzalling all these DPFs, tuning it so it wouldn't be under reduced power, then you defeated emissions controls. Plain and simple, and whatever you were sent and whatever fines you get, you should have gotten. Plain and simple. So there you go. Now, people that were selling parts that were not CARB approved, no, you guys are, if you got sent a consent decree because you were selling parts that were not CARB approved, you have a case. If you were jailed or fined to oblivion because you were selling parts that were not CARB approved, I think you should get an absolute break. So there's the distinction, right? People are not going to go into the weeds of that distinction. They're going to say, oh, diesel, I got hit by the government and they thought diesel, well, it runs better without DPF. I know. Most Mustangs run better without cats. But you can put a cat delete on a Ford OEM vehicle and it'll gain power. Look at the 24 Mustang. People literally put defowlers in the rear O2s so it doesn't throw a check engine light. Catalytic converters gone, headers, and then the car runs fine. So you are not doing anything that the factory does not allow, and the factory sent out that tune. So assumptions is, yeah, you can do it. But if a diesel truck does not run because it has a deleted DPF, then and you tune it so it doesn't go into a reduced power mode, then you are defeating emissions. Whatever fine you got because of that specific thing, you should have gotten, and you shouldn't get a break. But if you were selling parts that were not CARB approved, totally different. Look at what happened to Turn 5, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, it's Turn 5 and Jags and all the other people. They were selling DPF delete kits. How did they delete emissions? So if you were selling a pipe with a flange on one end and a flange on the other, that is not an emissions defeat device. The tune was. This is a emissions removal device. A test article, a pipe, right? So the act of getting after tuners. So if a parts company, believe it or not, Turn 5 and others that were hit up have a case. We were selling stuff that was legal. The tune, the act of tuning it to run is a completely different thing. So that's where I think you're going to have a bit of a gray area. And again, it's open to interpretation, and a lot of people are going to be able to fight it one way or the other. I don't care either way. I don't want anyone to get hit up, but let's be honest. Diesel is the only industry that on purpose makes a tune that annoys everybody. How many of you, I live in a non-rural area, okay? I live in Palm Beach County. Slightly west of me is Loxahatchee. Slightly north of me is Jupiter, Stewart. And those areas have a lot of diesel yee rich guys and some poor people that have tunes on their diesels that specifically roll coal. That's the purpose of the tune. It is to roll a bunch of soot in your face. I put those same tunes in the same category as diesel pop tunes BMW guys. I hear BMWs just let off at a low gear, second or third at 50, 60 miles an hour, just to hear the bang, 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 pow, 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 bang, bang, bang. Annoying. People say, what about Lund Racing's cam lobe idle tune? Who is that annoying? Stationary. Give it gas. Quiet. Right? Normal. But when you have a tune that specifically rolls coal, that's going to be a problem. So these little blurbs and things that the drive puts out there is gonna make people that thought they couldn't do that think that they could do that. Finally, and they start deleting deleting DPFs, putting tunes in the bitch because it's legal now. No, it's not. It's not legal. The Trump administration rolled back emission stuff only to 2020. And last time I checked, trucks had DPFs back in 2020. They're not unreasonable. They're like, okay, this part is a little crazy, but let's be honest. All the stuff should be, back to 2020 laws reasonable. Maybe they'll revise that later. But there are people right now like in Oklahoma, Tennessee, like Alabama. I see a lot of rolling coal shit here. Imagine you live in one of those states and it becomes an epidemic of bullshit. Now, I don't mind you DPFing, deleting your DPF to get more power, but the thing runs clean at what? I've seen diesel trucks here get after it, and the exhaust is clean. I'm like, shit. I think that visually looks like it's tuned properly. It's not blowing a bunch of smoke. But then I've seen extremely slow Cummins trucks just blow tons of smoke for the sake of blowing smoke, and kids love it. Kids love to smoke motherfuckers out. So I think this is a good thing that they're going after people that were weaponized. Fine. But if you got caught doing the thing that you were accused of doing, actually, I don't think you should get a break. No. If you were trying to sell parts that were not carb approved, I don't think you should get hit up. I think you should, people should just leave you alone. But if you were deleting and tuning, delete trucks, fuck you. You should get what's coming to you. I don't like lumping my industry with the diesel industry. I think it's two completely different industries. And you can't say, we got to band together. No, we don't. Because I'm not going to put myself in this Alejandro Flores. I'm not speaking for a company. I'm not speaking for anybody. I have to make that caveat because y'all motherfuckers think this is a Lund channel. I don't want to be lumped in Alejandro Flores with any diesel stuff because they don't represent me. I want clean, burning, powerful cars that are not annoying. Plain and simple. Also, I don't know if you guys caught it, and I don't know what kind of pages you follow, but I think the C8 Corvette is going to be the next big thing, and this is why. It's already popular. People like Sissio and all the other people are getting after it, and it's because MoTeC now has transmission, DCT, and engine control. And there was a how come I can't expand this? There it is. There was a video going around a guy named Chris Delgado. I guess he's has some racing firmware from MoTeC access, and he ended up posting a video of a C8 Corvette being controlled engine and TCM transmission controlled by MoTeC. And before you idiots are going, it's so jumpy, it's on a dyno. Just relax. This happens if you have a stick shift on a dyno. If you're on the street, it's relatively smooth. So in here, a few tuners actually got in there and asked the right questions. John Lund, awesome. It's using OETCM still, or is MoTeC controlling engine and trans? Chris Delgado says, all standalone. John says, 2 ECUs, I assume, or one for engine, one for trans? Yeah. That's how tuners are like that. They don't really expand on much because, they like to keep things close to the chest. And I get that. And I think the GT500, because it's not being made anymore, probably won't get this kind of access because, again, Tremec, I think still has a lack of access. I have always said that when you can break a GT500 transmission, not slip the clutches, nothing like that. When you can break input shafts and shifts like badass, like that one was shifting, I think then you can say, okay, it's viable. But it's discontinued. The GT500 is done, gone, se acabó el party. So that's that. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about what you want to talk about. But I appreciate that you guys are on the same page about diesel stuff because it still rubs me the wrong way when people start talking this diesel crap. And I'm like, wait, let's ask you very specific questions. I'm very good about asking specific questions, and you can pretty much see who's full of shit and who's about that life and who gets around the subject. But I like to get right to it. No problem. Those smoke tunes are the gayest things ever. It's literally overfueling it, and then they wonder why it loses power. People convicted under the full part. People convicted should get a full part and full compensation for money, loss, and damages. We know EPA did shady shit with the money. Yeah, but Lee Zeldin reeled it back in. Rolling coals for drift stick users. The rolling coal guys are the ones telling on themselves. Fit Trucking, don't kid yourself. What's happening? What did Fit Trucking say? JD Bruce, James NJ, Joseph Lacey, Slow 99 says, weird stuff is happening with carb here in Cali. Since they got their power reduced and removed, you can no longer buy certain things like CO2 and other gases because carb doesn't know what to do. That's interesting. Like, is there a big scramble? Because for a while, you couldn't send like a non-carb compliant cold air intake to California. I say, who gives a fuck? Like, if I was the manufacturer, I'd say, too bad. Make your product be smuggled in. It's so good. Look at what happened to cocaine. Cocaine's so good. Motherfuckers swallow this shit, put it in their intestine, shit it out. It's that. They got drug mules. If your product is so good, it'll get smuggled in. PFI was selling ECUs newer vehicles that were being used on the roadway. It sucks. Coal rollers are annoying as fuck. Saying his name 3 times and he appears. Exactly. So PFI should be off the hook selling Hondadas? Yes. Because PFI was not convicted of removing something from a vehicle that would render it useless. Look, I'm very specific about my language, right? I would be a good witness to this just because of my thought process. If you guys notice, and maybe you guys are, I'm not a nerd. I'm not that smart to be a nerd. I just pay a lot of attention. I've always noticed that Supreme Court cases, and see if you agree with me on this, they revert to hypotheticals, right? A lot of these cases that are litigated and they get run up the chain of command, or up, the Supreme Court. Let's say they go, low level court and people just keep going. And then hopefully the Supreme Court hears your case. What happens? When they then litigate or talk about the case, the justices literally start talking about hypotheticals. What if grandma had balls? Would she be grandpa? And then the lawyer has to make a compelling case as to yes. Right? So this is the way I think in hypotheticals, and it tells me how your brain works. I run hypotheticals across people all the time, and if their brain is not functioning properly, I stop talking to them, and they cease to exist in my life. So if I was to say, okay, the vehicle that you worked on, whether it was PFI, whether it was Corey, whether it was anybody that was hit up by the EPA, the part that you removed, if you removed the part, would the vehicle run fine if no alterations were made in the tuning? If the answer is yes, you did not defeat emissions controls, you're good to go. If the vehicle was rendered useless unless you touched emissions controls, you defeated emissions devices in the tuning, you are liable for damages caused by that pollution or whatever. Like, am I off base here? No Mustang ever. There is no part you can remove from a Mustang, aside from maybe the widebands and the MAF sensor, that renders it useless. Again, renders it useless if it's removed. Catalytic converter, evap, all that shit, the car will run fine. It'll throw evap codes. It'll throw catalytic converter efficiency codes. That's all it will do, but it will run fine. It won't have a problem. With diesel stuff, you're wide open to interpretation on specific questions, and hypothetically, you can get someone to self-snitch if they answer the question under oath and honestly. Put Canadian exhaust on my buddy's diesel Grand Cherokee, lost a little weight, runs great. With the supplied tune, my Cobra runs fine, minus a little weight, and sometimes a dash light. Diesels don't lose power being overfueled. Here we go. Smuggling PMASs into Cali. Smoke rainbow flag. Thoughts on bike steel? I only like one bike. And I know it's nothing you guys would like. Trust me. Yeah. What about a ZX14? Shut the fuck. It sucks that the Z8 doesn't come with a manual. You're right. Did somebody say trans Kyle? Nice. Hey, Brokies, Poors, Peasants says 10 seconds Z06. Esh says yes. Eshwood Payne's one of those quiet guys that does well. He don't say nothing. He just shows up, says hello, but he does well. He lives a great, peaceful life. Like, he has a little dog, chills out, has good parents, good guy. Fit Trucking said Ghost Cam tunes are just as gay as Rolling Cold tunes. I'm not going to say they're not gay. I'm going to say one of them is annoying. And are you annoyed by a choppy idle? I'm not. The moment it goes over 1,000 RPMs, it's smooth. Rolling coal requires you to go wide open throttle in a deleted truck, and it literally smokes shit out. You tell me which one is more annoying. Gay? Yeah, that's open to interpretation. JD Bruce says, did the EPA hit up emotion using California CARB rules, aka judging using state laws versus using a federal law? Is that what they got Justin Schlegel for, or it's John Schlegel, or however you spell his last name? It's Slagel. Slagel. This is how it's spelled. So, I'm trying to answer the question without answering the question. If this device only tuned gas-powered vehicles, it would still be in business today. I repeat, if this device only tuned gas-powered vehicles, it would still be in service today. You understand my issue with diesel? Crazy stuff. The more efficient you make the engine, the more power you make. Rolling coal is gay. Look, I know people dislike, like some certain people dislike Gale Banks. Motherfucker's been doing turbo shit for 40-something years. Right? Y'all motherfuckers that just got into the game don't know half the amount of shit he does. Now, do I think he's the ultimate, authority on this? No. But when he says, who is in the diesel game, rolling coal makes less power, I'm going to listen to him. Smoke tunes, a good way to get an injector stuck open. It becomes a literal torch and makes a hole through a piston. So many old non-dev trucks destroyed for the sake of looking cool. Kyle, if the tuning can smuggle PMAS 149, no problem. Slippery slope fallacy is if someone would jaywalk, they would probably murder. Also, they are both illegal. Red herring fallacy is creating an instance to distract from the original point. Very good. I like it. Well, you guys are pretty smart. I'm stupid. I track your way of thinking 100%. My current girlfriend is hypothetical. Hey, Alex, I sold my 900 horsepower 2011 GT and got a 19 4Runner. Wow, you're in a 97 M3. I want to get back into an S197. You think it's better to buy a nice or shitty car? The prices seem all over the place. Now, look, if I was to sell my GT500, it'd be like $45,000. Because, look, today I'm going to attempt a 60 to 130 at 12 pounds of boost. The goal is to go sevens because that's what the white car went. The white car went sevens with like 11 pounds of boost. So if I can go sevens, 60 to 130, I know it doesn't sound fast, but it's realistic. With a low compression illuminator and a TVS, I'm happy. If it goes sixes, I will shit my pants. Okay? So that car is a clean-ish. It has a lot of nicks and scratches all over the place. And now it's to the point where I'm like, man, I wish the thing had like clean paint. You know, it's just been sitting in garages and I'm moving stuff around and putting engines in and out of it. And, you know, you move around, it just gets scratched up. So I'd love to take it somewhere, get paint corrected, get the little nicks done up, because the moment it goes 8.99, if somebody doesn't buy it for like $45,000, I'll get a set of 4-stars, an S-Track, and actually drive it on the street and get rid of that face-plated transmission and get something with actual synchros, because I'm annoyed driving that thing, because I drive it a lot now. I drive it a lot because it's registered. I want to drive it. I want to do the vetting, make sure nothing's going to come off, like the exhaust doesn't come off. Now it's ready for 60 to 130. Changed the oil yesterday, and I'm like, man, I wish I could drive this more, but it's not fun to drive with a face-plated T56. So if you're considering a face-plated T56 for your street car, do not do it. Your username on TikTok was 4 Doors More Whores, Kyle. Yeah. Can we be rolling coal and burble tunes or bully them into no longer selling them? I feel most diesel tuners don't know what the fuck they're doing, so they would rather tune a truck rich than risk it running lean. Yeah, Ford Performance Calibration for S650, is it a thing? I don't know. Someone told me about that, and why would you think, okay, how do you deliver it? How do you deliver it? Let me see. Is there a 2024, God damn it, Ford Performance Calibration? Mustang with a Pro Cal? Get out. What? Because if that's the case, gentlemen, you know what that means. What? Ford Performance Pro Calibration Delivery Tool, tune not included. Okay. Different. So how do you, that is a very interesting thing. Let's dive into this. Let's dive into this a little bit. Let's Google live. Ford Performance Parts Calibrations. Okay. Mustang. Okay. Calibrations Mustang. It's 15 to 17. EcoBoost. Supercharger. Cold air intake for 15 to 17. 18 to 21. There you go, gentlemen. So there are no tunes for 2024 Mustangs. See how easy that was? Let's go to their website. Like, I don't know. I don't care what Facebook says. I don't care what anyone says. If it's not on their website, I don't care what they say. How much power is an Odin 3.0 upper and 20% good for? No idea. Might not sell my car. Thinking maybe just sell the drag pack, and once I get in my house, worry about the car again. Don't want to sell it, but need 10 to 15K. I need 50K, but you don't see me like liquidating all my assets. I need 50K to like have a comfortable down payment on a house. Right now I can get into a house, but man, the houses are still touching 600,000 for like a normal 3.2 with no garage. I want a garage. I want a big garage, and that's like 750. And I'm like, I am not gonna mortgage my future for a garage. Fuck all that. Alex, are you considering putting the new illuminator in the ZR1? So AJ, the ZR1 has a Gen 3 bottom end, Gen 2 heads, Gen 2 cams locked. The illuminator is supposed to be for the Fairmont. The Fairmont has a long way to go, but it's nice to have an extra engine just in case shit goes bad. But I'm not going to put an illuminator in the Corvette if the Gen 3 motor can make 900 wheel twin turbo. Who cares? Don't need anything. I don't need 1,000. That's a lot of, that's stupid. My basic ass ESS car on 100 octane went 606, 60 to 130, 79 degrees outside, 2020 DA. Yeah, but it's a 10R80 car, right? It's a 10R80 car, not a manual. When you sell Donnie, will it come with all the broken pieces? If you want them, sure. That if I sell Donnie, it'll have a built motor. It'll have a built motor. It already has a built trans. It's gonna have a built rear end. It's gonna be like a badass 8-second car, more than likely. You can't run a diesel lean; it will not run. Okay. Most canned diesel tunes roll coal, even dead rat. So, how did they not get hit up? I think they got hit up. You understand? I think people need to understand that just because you didn't hear about it does not mean it didn't happen. Some of the best PR firms on the planet know how to tell their client to shut the fuck up. And what happens is people can start running for the doors if they feel that the company that they're dealing with is potentially going to go away or whatever. Let's say, for instance, you bought $20,000 worth of SCT devices to stock up. Let's say you're American Muscle, Turn 5. Let's say you're a big parts house, DNA High Performance, and you have 200 or more devices on the shelf. Because, let's just have them in stock, and the more you buy, the better deal you get. Then you are on Facebook looking for, Latina booty, and then you see somebody from SCT, again, hypothetical, say, we got hit up by the EPA. Holy shit, you're going to want your money back, right? Oh, so then people run for the hills. They want their money back. They start to get scared. Or the smart ones, shut the fuck up. Like literally shut the fuck up. The lawyer's like, don't say nothing, shut the fuck up. Work everything in the background. Stay in business. Stay in business. Okay, so you stay in business. One of the biggest issues, I think, with companies that have some, issues with, look, when you're big and successful, you're going to have stuff that happens just by osmosis. People just like fuck with you. You're big, so people will fuck with you. Like if you're small fry, no one cares, and you're selling tunes in a fucking closet, nobody cares, so no one's going to come after you. But if you're a big dog, people are going to come after you. If you're a big company, people are going to come after you. SCT's huge. So the smartest thing to do is shut the fuck up. Right? If you have had an issue with a government entity and are potentially in danger of being closed down, shut the fuck up. Work out the angles on the backside, work with the lawyers, and then a press release comes out a year later after everything's been shaken out that you're like, oh yeah, they got hit up, but they're still in business. Oh, shit, okay, cool. But let's say if the moment it happened, speculation and people start yelling and on Facebook and fuck, and then, I want my money back, and then you go out of business. So the best thing to do is shut the fuck up. Yeah, take the L in silence. If you lose in silence. So you have to buy Ford's device and Ford tune to separate. Jesus Christ, JD Bruce, did you see that there is no tuning? Never mind, misspelled. Okay, gotcha. See, I should have read your next fucking thing. No tunes, you get nothing. Kyle would love to swallow an intake. Roll cold tunes can also cause sky-high EGTs on a diesel. $600,000 with no garage. Sheesh, you guys have no idea. You guys have no idea. A lot of people that make fun of like my situation, which again, I have never sucked a dick to have a fast car. Let's just get that out of the way. I have never blown anyone to have a fast car, or period, blown anyone, period. So Zillow, right? Let's go to Zillow, which, whatever. And I'm going to put a price of $650,000 in the acreage. Because where you want to live in West Palm Beach is the acreage or Loxahatchee. That's kind of where you want to live. Jupiter's out of Jupiter is over, son. Jupiter no vale la pena. So just to give you a heads up, okay, this is where I live, right? I live up here, right? I live up here. This is the acreage. This is the plot of area where it's like everything is an acre plot. Everything's an acre here. So you can have a big garage. Look at this motherfucker right here. Look, Tangerine Boulevard. What the fuck is this thing? Right? So look at that big ass garage back there. Right? $860,000. So you guys need to understand, like, I don't live somewhere. And again, I'm not trying to say I'm a badass motherfucker or anything, but this house has a big, massive garage out back. You see? Gorgeous. Over an acre. Is it over an acre? 8 garage spaces. Damn, this is a bad motherfucker, right? No pool. Beautiful. Beautiful, right? Gorgeous, right? Probably on a dirt road, so your shit's going to be all dusty all the time. No pool. But, you know, pretty nice. Why is the couch right up against the kitchen? That's kind of odd, right? So, let me see some. Okay. We're looking at houses. It's the peasant chat. Right? This house in North Carolina. Good for you, son. Oh, you're my kind of people. This guy's legit. I love this. Fuck. It needs a pool there for 860,000 fire pit. Big old stupid tank or what? I don't know. It looks like a shitty grill. Big, beautiful. Look at the I mean, right. This in North Carolina, North Georgia is like $450. $450, right? Here, no fucking way. $800,000. So you guys need to understand what I would like is a big garage. So if you go to the keywords, Is there more? Let's say workshop. Fuck. No HOA fee. Parking spots. Let's say what keywords? Workshop. Or garage is easy because it's attached to the house, but a workshop is different because it's big, you know. Okay, so 275 my ass. 230. That's probably the land. It's got to be like. Let's see this thing. What the fuck's going on here? Let me see. Watch the workshop be like a bench somewhere. Come on, man. How many? 35 photos. Let me see this workshop you're talking about. This looks like a... Bro, this looks like a trailer. Get out of here. This looks like you could tow it there. Where's the workshop? Where's the workshop? Ain't no workshop nowhere. Nah. That's the workshop? Get out of here. Get out of here with your bullshit. So this is what I mean. Like, you're not going to find... Let me get rid of the keyword. Internet's flying, so I might as well take advantage. Everyone's, church or whatever. Let's go back here. Let me just go look on the side here. See if one of them shows like a big... Look at this, $599. I bet you it doesn't have a big garage, right? I bet you big, beautiful house. I bet you it doesn't have a big ass garage. All right. Yep. Yeah, no, just a two normal, beautiful. I love the floor. It's all good. Yep. Let's see the big garage. Nothing. 600. No garage. I don't give a fuck about any of this shit. I don't care about any of this crap. Who cares? That's where you could put your lawnmower. Like, that's the garage. That's what I mean. See, you don't understand where I live. You want a workshop? Fucking 700. Easy. So please, in Georgia, North Carolina, hell, North Florida, 400,000, 500,000. I don't want to live there. It fucking sucks. There's nothing there. You know what I did last night? Because I just stay home. I was like, let me get out of the fucking house. Let me get out. Let me see what's out there. Yesterday was so perfect to remind me where the fuck I live. I go out with Donnie, the car. Go for a ride. I go to just over Riviera Beach into West Palm, and there's like a big party happening at this yacht club. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. If I wanted to do that, that'd be cool. I go into downtown West Palm. It's popping. The restaurants are popping. Bitches everywhere. The beautiful scenery. Really nice. I'm like, well, I could get out of the car and do something like that. Here. Then I said, you know what? I'm hungry. So I drove all the way to Jupiter to MoTeC, where Jeremiah Camp works. And MoTeC is just, the bitches are everywhere. So I get there and I walk up and down the little dock, and there's like $5-6 million yachts, gorgeous little charter things that you can put charcuterie boards at like $10,000, crazy stuff. And then I see the fucking rocket launch, the Falcon 9. I'm looking at, from MoTeC, I'm looking at the rocket launch. I see stage separation. I'm like, where the fuck do I live? You think I want to be in fucking Georgia? Alabama? Tampa? The fuck out of here, man. Shit. Nothing's going on up there. Nothing. Stop it. Man. Sorry. What can $12,000 today get you in car parts? Because I didn't own a home and could spend it in a car, and I'm getting on my windows, either project car, $12,000. Fuck. Covering a shift for my old battery today. Have to catch the rest of the show. Replay later. Thank you so much. You can run a diesel lean. Here we go with diesel bullshit. Detached garage. You think I should put detached garage? Okay, let's go back to Zillow. Yeah, fuck it. I got time today. Let me keep looking at the chat just to make sure nothing's popping off. Parents are selling the house I grew up in, 4-bed, 2-bath, 350 on 2 to 3 acres around Mechanicsburg, Ohio. You want to see my big garage? Says that dating channel, Kyle Loftus. Average home price in my town is $1 million. Sheesh. East side. I'm in Columbus, but looking in Zanesville area. If you guys saw how much houses are in Ottawa, Canada, you would throw up. Yeah, who the fuck wants to live up there? As a resident, North Florida sucks. I'm telling you guys, North Florida is butt cheeks. I can't wait to move to Florida. Look, only place worth moving to is Palm Beach County. I'm sorry anyone else. I'm sorry if you live anywhere else. The only place worth moving to is Palm Beach County. Shit, you can't even get that in Hialeah. 20,000, you can put up a barn. No, you can't. No You can't. Not in Florida. Why do people think that they can just put up a barn? Buy a small house with land and build a pole barn. You can't do that. What part of you can't do that don't you understand? A small house in Palm Beach County is smaller than my apartment. And it's $400,000. Stop. And you have no land to put anything up. Alex, do you want me to take, the dating channel Kyle Love says, Alex, do you want to take me out to Yukaki in me where Jared works? What? The Tony the Trucker says, I've been a diesel tech for 15 years, but I'm right. Do me a favor and Google, will the diesel engine run if it's too lean? Then go ahead and tell me what it says. Here we go. Orlando is great too. Wouldn't go any more north than that. Orlando is not great. Lakeland is decent. The areas surrounding Orlando are decent. Orlando es una mierda. I did on my property in Cali. So if you can do it in Cali, then you can absolutely do it here. I'm looking to buying another house in North Carolina. Okay, 20,000 won't even buy the material anywhere. Exactly. Not the diesel tech, bud. Tony the truck guy. Yeah, right. Like if you're a diesel tech, don't talk about tuning. Like Tony the truck guy, love him, probably a good guy. You know how many times I've heard, I'm a Ford tech. I know more about. Shut up. You change parts depending on what the fucking thing tells you to do. That's what you do. You diagnose it with an IDS tool. You know how many times I've sent guys to Ford? Oh, you need a new computer. New computer. I have had Ford replace computers on cars. And then I go, send me a log. Your cam sensor is bad. Oh, what do you mean? Your cam sensor is bad. I had this issue. Replace the rear 4 cam sensors. Problem solved. Ford said it needed a new computer. So what do Ford techs do? No offense, Ford tech. Step 1, do this test. Step 2, do this test. If step 1 and step 2 don't work, replace PCM. They're parts replacers. They're not diagnosers. Pole barn can easily add up to $100,000 with concrete and a drive. No, you don't understand. Jake put up a big barn. It was like $55,000. I still building here in Florida is 30,000+ slab and all. Exactly. It was like $55,000. Florida, where the farther north you go, the more southern it gets. Correct. People say, do you live in the South? I'm like, no, I'm in South Florida. In that South, I'm like, South kind of ends in Orlando. Then it becomes like Florida. The smooth brains don't understand the municipality and how that dictates what gets built. Orlando's full of smoke detectors that will steal from your barn. You are not wrong about that. I'll just stay poor. Look, I don't mind buying. If I wanted a house to appease people that don't like the fact that I'm in an apartment, I could buy a $430,000 3.2 with a third of an acre, which is like more than most can get. But I don't want that. If I'm going to buy a house, I want like the house that I'm going to like die in, like live in forever. So I want something that is turnkey. I want 3.2, pool and a fucking, big garage. That's over $700,000 here. Kyle can be your roommate, help with the bills and other things. Alice, can you give your opinion on any Mustang racing, the C6Z? Can I be Frank's channel on running natural fuel? I don't care. I'm in Texas. I told you last week I don't care. I don't understand why you guys give a fuck about nitro fuel. Can you afford to replace your motor? Yes or no? No? Stop looking into nitro fuel. Orlando closes like at 10 o'clock and it's full of Guajiro, Puerto Ricans. I love my people though. I know my people. That's why I don't fuck with Orlando. Yeah, they're parts changers. I live in Jacksonville my whole life, says it's just a spick. Lived in Sanford for 3 years. Now I live in North Fort Worth, Texas for a year. Never want to go back to north half of Florida. My uncle built a shop in his property in Cali. The whole property had to have 3-phase power to accommodate the house, lift, welders, HVAC system, etc. But Alex, I have a friend that did a pole barn cheap somewhere nobody wants to live. Oklahoma. Oklahoma. I love people that compare where they live and talk shit as if they're popping. So you saw, right? You saw what you get here for $600,000, right? You saw it. So let's go to like North Carolina, and let's see what you get up there for $600,000. Remove boundary. Let's see what you get. I don't know. Can someone name like a town that's like decent? Right? Oh my lord. Hell, even here, like even like this is a great snapshot of what's what, right? Oh man, this is gonna freeze. So let's go to North Carolina. What's a good spot in North Carolina to look that you can be like, oh yeah, So I'll put the price at $600,000. So minimum, let's get up there, 600. Let's see what you can buy for 600,000. This is Atlanta, Georgia. Wait, Atlanta, Georgia. Right? Okay. Please shut the fuck up. Like, the reason there's so much house up there is because nobody wants to live in that motherfucker. $600,000, you get a palatial estate. You get a palatial estate for 600. Look at this, $600,000. You saw what you get here for 600. Una mierda. Look at what you get up there for 600. A goddamn palace. Let me see if anyone said. Look in North Alabama, Charlotte, North Carolina is growing Mooresville and Raleigh. Okay, so let's go to Raleigh. See, you guys think I'm full of shit. You guys live somewhere nobody wants to live. So that's why there's so much fucking house. You can get a lot for it. So Raleigh, North Carolina. Raleigh. Ooh. Raleigh, North Carolina homes. Okay. 600, so 500 to 600. Yeah, no, these are kind of expensive for not much house, but they're bigger. That's for sure. I'm trying to see a good. I like these houses. I love these houses. Like a Queen Anne Victorian. Okay, so Raleigh's becoming silly, right? Like it's similar to Florida, where it's a little on the silly side. What you can get for your money. This is not $600,000 in Raleigh, North Carolina, bro. That rug, get the fuck out of here, bro. You guys are psycho. If you pay that money in Raleigh. Okay, this is what I would expect in Raleigh, North Carolina, like a palatial, big brick motherfucker. Yeah, okay, I would expect that. Okay, and it's got a pool. Yeah, I get that. This I understand in Raleigh. But that other shit that I just saw, hell no. But look at this. Look at this fucking house. Again, people say, why don't you move? Because it's cold right now up there. You can't see rocket launchers from up there. What are you going to do? It's fucking Raleigh. Stop flexing. What you can afford, the house where you live in that is in South Florida buys a shack here. So buys a shack here. Sorry, don't get mad at me for waiting. Don't get mad at me for living here. There's so much happening here. I want to live here. It's just I'm not willing to live in a fucking 3-2 in Riviera, like a house. No, I'd rather buy in the acreage or Loxahatchee, but it's getting expensive. It's getting a little silly over there. I live up in Raleigh, the best place to raise. I live up, you're in Raleigh, best place to race. Got it. Look in North Alabama. No, thank you. Chapel Hill. You will not melt the piston due to lean condition in a diesel. Overfueling does not make the engine slower. You know this if you work on diesels. Tony the truck guy. Here we go. Raleigh's a college town. Butt cheeks. Clarksville, Tennessee is dog shit. Asbestos in the house. Bro, that carpet seen some shit. Clarksville is just military. College city. I had to move quick. 20 feet from the neighbor. Gross. Right. So, there are places here that you can severely overpay for a house that's up against somebody, but the acreage is a little better because you have an acre per plot and you can have a 3-2 pool and a good sized garage, but it's going to cost you like $7,000. That's like fucking almost $6,000 a month or $5,500 a month. Again, 50, and we're talking taxes, keep talking that shit that I can't afford certain things. And I'm just like, okay, got it. Check in the 956. The Puro Pincho 956, you can get for $600,000 in the Puro Pinche 956 a la verga, cuz get
Puro
you.
Pinche 956 a la verga, cuz.
I guarantee it gets you the city. Hey, what can I buy here for $600,000? Well, Leon, you can buy the whole 956. Can I? Let's look in the Puro Pinche 956 a la verga, cuz. Because, those guys that flex down there, my bro, tu casa 3,000, your house is $300,000, bro. No offense. You have a nicer place than mine in fucking puro pinche 956. What's that, Brownsville? What? Oh, 956 area code. 956 area code city. Isn't it Brownsville? Laredo, McAllen, and Brownsville. Oh, brother. This is going to be fun. Laredo, McAllen, and Brownsville. Let me see 956. Let me just do 956. No. McAllen? McAllen. Texas? Yeah, okay. let's look at the puro pinche 956 a la verga, cuz. Okay, $500,000 to $600,000. ¿Qué se busca ya por? Mira, it's a whole office building. Holy shit, bro! You get a whole office building. Holy shit! From 500 to 600, you get a fuck. Yo, what do you guys do there to be able to afford that? Oil? Puro pinche 956 a la verga, cut. Diablo. Right up against a motherfucker. Mira, yeah. Move to McAllen, Texas. It's all good. You just have dead motherfuckers, drug mules that had a condom burst in their stomach. All over your yard. It looks so peaceful, man. Yeah, zoom out. Look at this. Look at this for $500,000. Right. Oh man, your house is Alex. You're not popping. Look at my house. Yes, in McAllen. Look at this. Is that an alley? Why is there an alley behind your shit? That's odd. Yeah. I mean, look, if you like it, vaya con Dios. But I don't want to live there. I don't want to live there at all. It's McAllen. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Crazy stuff. It had the fucking blow punk in the wall. You're right. Oh, Scott Frank says, off topic. Your 8090 in the caddy, the torque converter shutter, and clunkiness is due to the fluid. GM updated the type of fluid that it takes. Drain it and put new stuff. Problem solved. Bet me it won't. But I'll try it. It's an easy one. I'll look into it. Scott Franks, appreciate that. That's probably a good video to do. Joseph Lacey says, dating channel, I find your lack of pole barn jokes disturbing. Okay. The food alone is good enough reason to live in South Florida. Seriously. Dude, I needed to go out last night, get out of the car, go into these restaurants, go into these areas to remind myself where I live. Because you get in a funk, you work on cars, you go to sleep, wake up, work on cars, go to sleep, tune cars, and you're like, oh, this sucks. Then you go out, get out of the car somewhere else really pretty, and you're like, oh, that's why I do this. You can get a castle in Texas. Give me a house in the woods, 4 or 5 acres in the garage, and I'm good. Bro, I die every time I hear the puro pinche 956 a la verga, cuz.
Puro pinche 956 a la verga.
600,000 will include tunnel to Mexico. I can smell the weed and elotes from here. Look at what 600,000 gets you in Morgantown, West Virginia. It's GM part number or GM TSB 18NA 355. New fluid is Mobile One synthetic, light viscosity, ATF, HP. Brother, thank you so much. I'm gonna write that down. What is it? That's good. GMTSB 18 NA 355 and synthetic LV ATF, Mobile One synthetic, mobile, thank you, synthetic. I'll try it. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna yell at you. LV ATF HP. Okay, you want to look at a house in where? West Virginia? I can't imagine that's... Well, isn't West Virginia close to, like, D.C.? I don't know. Jared says, Weld Belmont, 1710, 2810 Hoosier QTB, Quick Time Pros, Weld V-Series fronts, 28 inch 2000 Sportsman, 3200 a good asking price? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you want to do better, do like 2600 just to get it out the door. People that have never lived in Florida will never understand. Visited on vacation in March, and I can't wait to move back once the kids are 18. The shitty parts of the state are better than 98% of everywhere else. One of the biggest issues I had when I moved to Florida is figuring out where the ghetto was. Wait, it's ghetto here? Yeah, it's ghetto, man. It's Riviera Beach fucking ghetto. I'm like, it's beautiful. Okay, so imagine, right? Imagine somebody tells you where this is located is ghetto, right? people that have never lived here and talk shit on me and say, Alex lives in Riviera Beach. It's fucking ghetto. I'm like, this is 5 minutes away from me. You're telling me this is ghetto? I swear to Jesus, this is 5 minutes from my house. Alex lives in Riviera. It's ghetto. Oh, well, okay. Well, I can literally drive 5 minutes due east and come across this shit. Can you drive 5 minutes anywhere where you're located and come across anything nearly as nice? No? Shut your whore mouth and keep sucking that dick for race car parts. Seriously. Like, please shut your mouth and keep sucking that dick for race car parts. I see the kind of guy you are. First comment was responding to the comment about diesel tuners running rich due to being afraid of running lean and melting piston at Tony the truck guy. But what's happening? Everyone's mad at. Look, keep fighting. Just keep paying me. I'll take that money. Fox Body and Freedom says, Alex, ever heard of Superchips Tuning Company? Of course I've heard of them. It was like from 1992. Alex sounds like Dom Toretto from Fast and Furious. Wrong, says Tony the truck guy. My first comment was in rebuttal to your incorrect comment that a diesel can't be lean. It won't run. Dead wrong. Where are the Bellacs? Okay. Took my Model S Plaid into service and was by far the best dealer experience I've ever had, says Shannon Dugan. Let me drive every model while I was getting worked on. Hey, while it was getting worked on. Every dealer should be like that. I'm on an island off of Long Island called Long Beach. You get a sidewalk around your house for $1 million, but that's all beach bars and restaurants. That's where Tim Pool lives. Oh, gotcha. What is it? West Virginia. What is it again? Tim Pool has a big spread, I heard. Like, he's got like, but it's like rural where he lives, apparently. What the fuck? You never opened the drawer? Well, this right here. There's a drawer here, and there's a drawer here. There's a drawer here, and there's a drawer here. And there's 3 here and 3 here. It's a big fucking desk. Y'all got different ghetto in Florida. Right. Okay. I moved into this apartment called Turtle Cove in West Palm Beach when I first moved here. I didn't know, but the rent was like $950 a month. And I'm like, I'm in. It was a 1-1, the first one I ever moved into here. Palm trees, amenities, racquetball court, pool, 2 pools, right next to Trump International Golf Course. People are like, oh, that shit's ghetto. And I'm like, what? What do you mean it's ghetto? It's next to Trump International Golf Course. It's ghetto. Okay, but I grew up where a ghetto is brick buildings, no trees, drug dealers everywhere, dirt on the ground. So it's relative to what you're used to. I thought it was great. Again, people that have no idea what it's like here, talk that shit. I got a timeshare in Fort Lauderdale, right on A1A. Oh, good for you, bro. You're right by Las Olas, bro. PA got 72 acres and 3,200 square feet of garage plus 2,000 square foot house for less than $600,000. Yeah, for parts. One day I will move to Florida. I live in Louisiana and I hate it. Even North Florida would be paradise compared to here. People who grew up here complain about it. They never even left the state. I learned quick when I got stationed in Norfolk, Virginia. There was a guy here that used to race. He was the one that was called the driver mod on that racing channel, which was the Orange Viper. Remember those videos back in like the 2010s, the 2015, 2014, Orange Viper, nitrous, was out there gapping everything, right? And I met him, nice guy. And he was like, I want to move. Man, I'm sick and tired of Miami, man. I want to move. And I'm like, move to Palm Beach. He's like, no, I want to move to like the north. And I'm like, shut up. Shut up. I would trade flat palm tree blue. The sky is so blue today. Blue skies, 7 months out of the year, 75 degrees and perfect. Beach access, great food, no minimal crime where I'm at. And then a fucking mountain where I can hike. And then I have seasons. Seasons? You want to have seasons? Shut up. 75 degrees for 6 fucking months. And you want to switch that up for seasons and shitty food? Nah, trust me. Shut up and stay. Please shut up and stay. I got tired of living around the smoke detectors in Chicago. You can run a diesel lean with a ton of nitrous. Bro, it's just pressed to be wrong. It's hilarious, says Tony the truck guy. I went to West Palm for New Year's in 23. In the morning, I drove around to Mar-a-Lago. Drove to Power by the Hour because I was close by. Got a coffee at a local Latin place. It's a beautiful place to live. You know where you got coffee? Don Cafe on Military. Open at 3 in the morning. $150 will get you that desk in Florida. Shit, those houses in the acreage look like a good deal compared to the houses in Boca. Those prices will make you cry. Correct. The acreage is where you want to live. YN's everywhere. I live in an island as well. I grew up in Camden, New Jersey. Talk to me about ghetto. Damn. Camden. You want to talk about ghetto. You got me beat. PA is trash. Lived there 2 years. The place is backwards. I live right outside of Worcester. That's ghetto. Where? Leominster? Where do you live in? Leominster? Remember the orange driver mod? I remember the orange mod driver mod Viper. I want to move to Florida so bad, like West Palm shit. Oregon is run by glue drinking apes. Zimbabwe champion. Wasn't that Sneaky Snakes orange Gen 4 or 5 Viper with a heads cam and 300 shot? Want it? The sky is very blue today. Yes, the weather's perfect today in South Florida. It's gorgeous today. Where the fuck would he go up north? New York? Nothing close to the Lunds. That's not South Florida. Where the Lunds live, I would never live. Why? Quality of life. It is awful. Love them. Love the Lunds. I think they're great. I cannot live up there. Impossible to live up there. If I'm there visiting for a week, I'm like, I can't wait to get back home. The weather's different. Yes, 3.5 hours north is completely different than where I'm at. It's just, dude, you cannot compare North Florida to South Florida in terms of weather, in terms of demographic, in terms of food. What do you got for food in North Florida? Zaxby's? Fuck out of here. Seasons, a.k.a. anywhere in the Northeastern states. Let's not forget Alex moved from Matt Shrewsbury. Yeah. I used to bang a chick from Leominster. Sorry, had a stroke. Meant wasn't it, says Zimbabwe champion. Don't go any farther west in Arizona. Cali is a hellhole. I got a taste of Cali. I went to Cali once. Not a fan. Beautiful weather. It smelled like fires. It smelled like smoke. Traffic. Oh my Lord. And it wasn't LA. It was way north, like Sacramento area. And I'm like, who the fuck wants to live in this shit? Everything, like the sky wasn't blue enough. It was like hazy. I was like, what's happening here? But it was like 72 degrees. So I'm like, yeah, I guess, whatever. Zimbabwe champion says Sneaky Snakes lives in Texas. There goes the internet. Alex, are you into RC cars? I think I saw one in the background. Yeah, I like RC cars, but you don't see me popping off about it. I love going to the gym. You don't see me posting about it. Tall Starlight says, yeah, but Florida is rainy, then hot and humid all the time. Yucko. Tall Starlight, I know you've never been here. We're like in the middle of a drought. It hasn't rained here consistently in like 4 months. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Tampa does sucks. Applebee's. Tampa sucks. Fires and homeless people 3 hours north of South Florida have sidewalk ice cream. You guys don't understand how Stewart, right? Stewart. It's just outside of Palm Beach County. Jake moved there from Power by the Hour. He's like, put my shop there and I have access to, I go, tell me about Stewart. He goes, a lot of homeless. I go, what? He goes, a lot of homeless. It's pretty run down. I'm like, Stewart? He goes, yep. I go, what about West Palm? He goes, not a lot of homeless. A lot of Mexicans, but not a lot of homeless. And I'm like, no shit. He goes, yeah, a lot of homeless. I'm like, this is crazy. Every 3 months, the whole state smells like bonfire. I got a buddy who lives in the same area as the Lunds. He wonders why no one ever goes to visit him. The drive is 35 minutes from up the interstate, like 45 minutes back from the road. Dude, you can't get to the Lunds off the highway. Off of 75. And the moment you get off of 75 is another 45 minutes to their shit. Off of 95, everything is accessible here. Off of 95, Fort Lauderdale, Boca, West Palm, Jupiter, even Port St. Lucie, Miami, Hollywood. You take a left or right, depending on which way you're going. You can get into the Hialeahs of the world. You can get into the Parklands. You can get into the Westins. You can get into all that stuff within 30 or 20 minutes. Dude, it is ridiculous up there. Up there, everything's like so spread out, and it's not good. It's not good. Gun to my head, if I had to move there to keep my job, I wouldn't keep my job. I don't like it up there. Quality of life is more important to me. Could be worse. You guys could be in Pottstown, PA, brother. Hanlon Motorsports. I remember when they lived in PA, and I'm like, it's pretty, but they ain't shit to do in this motherfucker. What are you gonna do? Go to what's the name of the popular shopping? The name of like a Publix. It was like, it starts with an A. Acme. Isn't Acme a chain? Acme. Store, chain, PA. Yes. I legit, when I heard seniors say, we're going to go to Acme, I go, Acme? Isn't that where the Coyote and Roadrunner got his bombs from? Like, Acme, go to Acme, and I'm like, what? What's an Acme? And they're like, oh, it's a store. I'm like, but that's where the Coyote got his like anvils and his paint and his chains. Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. And a lot of people that don't like this area, they say the same thing. Too much traffic. It's too busy because motherfuckers want to be here. There's a brother. Let's get after it. All right, cool. Brother. Let's get after it. All right, cool. Very cool. Acme website, CIA, honeypot trying to crash the stream. I love the Looney Tunes reference. Did the Acme bomb even work for the Coyotes? They never did. So one of the craziest things I ever saw in Pennsylvania was like that. And I was like, and then the roads are shit. The roads are garbage. Guys, Pennsylvania roads, I'm blown away that the Lund's cars did not have big, rotting, nasty shit in it because of the amount of salt, potholes. Now, one of the more fun things to do in Pennsylvania is, to go up and down and do crazy shit. But dude, it wasn't somewhere I wanted to live. Like, never. Like, one of the, I'll tell you a story one day about an offer that I got, and one of the offers was to move up there, and I'm like, bro, I've been up there. Like, let's be honest, guys. It's depressing. It's so depressing to live in Pennsylvania. It's so depressing to live in Massachusetts, Connecticut, most of New York, Delaware. It is depressing. You hate life. It's awful. It's not fun. What's the fun part about living there? Tell me, please, talk to me like I'm a fucking retard. What is so awesome about living in Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Connecticut? Shouldn't even be a fucking state. It's weird. It's basically New Yorkers that live on the south part and then Puerto Ricans. The moment I got down here, I was like, what the fuck? It blew my mind that there's such a stark difference between, a place 1,100 miles away. I went, it's tropical, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, the food's great, people are awesome, tons of money. I didn't know what I was missing, and it took me into my late 30s to figure out that I gotta get the fuck out of here. On 3, trying to shut down the system. Nah, she's gotta suck a lot of dick to make that happen. Acme, isn't that where you get PBD tunes? China killing the stream. Do it live. Everyone refresh. Yeah, refresh. The Ethernet cable. I need a new Ethernet cable. The little clip that retains it broke, so I don't know what I did, but it just slipped out. Hey, who's doxing? Stream is choppy. If you live in PA, you gotta have a Subaru. Nothing is over. You just can't turn it off. Cops in PA are straight awful. The fun part would be we can go on dates. What region is Cadillac? Anyone watching the finals of the Masters today? Is Joshua Shreveport? Okay, so yeah, oh my God, this thing is it's one of those streams where everything is falling apart. I don't know how we got on that subject matter. By the way, I got a lot of messages from you guys saying that, hey, did you see that the Mustang GTD beat its own time in the Nurburgring? I'm like, I love you guys. I don't give a fuck. You give a fuck? Please explain to me why you give a fuck. Explain to me like I'm a retard why you give a fuck that a race car built by a race car company ran a good time in the Nurburgring. That ain't a production car. Sorry, I don't care what you think. And for those of you retards that go on Facebook and go, oh yeah, what about the GT3 lap times? You mean the race car built by Multimatic? That one? That one. So it went fast in a race car track built by a race car team supported by $1 billion company, and you're sitting there going, Billy Badass? Man, shut the fuck up. I don't care. Now, I wonder, I gave a little bit of a fuck because I go, why'd they go back? This is what I think, and I'm purely speculating here, but I don't think I've been wrong in a long time. I think the ZR1 went out there and did something special. I think the ZR1 went out there and beat the GTD's initial time. Then Ford's like, fuck that. I'm going back out there and doing it again. And then they beat their own time again. Now, if you think that the ZR1 C8 version is in the same league as a GTD in terms of engineering and, what do you call that? Discipline. Multimatic is a race car team. Chevy used a production body, production everything, and got after it with a production car. Ford sent me a carbon fiber, whatever the fuck, to really get after it. Okay, cool. So what the fuck did you prove? Pure speculation. But this is what I think happened because I know how things kind of go. Corvette went out there, laid down a badass time. It scared the bejesus out of Ford. Ford went back out there and tried to beat their own time. Hell, what do you think about Ford Performance making a tune for the S650? Hey, show me where the tune is. Show me. Show me on the website. Send me a link, JB, where the fucking tune is. I went to the website. There is no tune. Again, if on the website there is no tune, there is no tune. I already talked about this. Click live. Nobody cares about DCT numbers. I don't care about new cars, especially when there's hardly any parts on them getting tuned yet. Again, same thing. Like if I can't get it and tune it, then the zero fucks are given. Ford said they would be back in April right after the original run because conditions weren't the best. Yep, the Zora, there's been some articles I've seen flying around about it. Why didn't Ford post ring times on the 2020 GT500? Because it probably sucks. Watch Ford build a rear engine Mustang that will rattle everybody. No, it won't. Nobody cares. Ford tried with the Ford GT and no one, it became a car you buy to pad your portfolio. I was driving my car this weekend at crispy 49 degrees and that boost weather really hits. Yeah, car felt really fast until it doesn't. So be careful driving around in boost weather. Can you repeat the whole show? I just got here, says Sonic. Yeah, it's not a production vehicle, so Ford trying to save face. Corvette laid pipe on the GTD like Diddy. Bro, could you imagine if the ZR1 went up there and just went... Oh, fuck that shit, man. And then Ford's like, oh, we got to get back out there and clap those cheeks. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, they were affected by weather conditions the first time. But I believe you're right. They wanted to go again because of the ZR1. Or they wanted to bury the record. The ZR1's been out there. You can see the goofy mufflers they put on it because the Nurburgring has noise restraints or noise restrictions. It's so stupid. It's a stupid Nurburgring. You have noise restrictions on a fucking racetrack. I get it, but I don't get it. Aldi. Hey, Ted Diaz, click live. GT500 ran 735, 350 ran close to the GT500. Could you imagine? That sound clip is still disturbing. Ford getting the cheeks clapped by Chevy. I knew I should have kept my volume down. Why do you still have that sound? My speakers were up at 100. Oh, fuck that shit, Can I make it louder? Here, I'm gonna go all the way. Oh, fuck that shit, I gotta admit, the rhythm on the dude is pretty ridiculous. Like that, no. Why do you still have that? Okay, when the 01 gets lined up with the GTD, no Nurburgring time is going to matter. The 01 is doing 4s, 60 to 130 stock. Dude, do you think any GTD owner is going to actually race their car on the street? Stop it. Did Multimatic build a last 4 GT as well? Same concept as a GTS, GTD. I do be careful and watch AFRs. Fuck AFRs. AFRs don't matter. By the time, okay, think about it. Let's do some thinking about monitoring AFRs. Let's say you go wide open throttle, and then you're at the top of third and you're staring down AFRs. And then all of a sudden, AFRs starts to go lean. You let off. Oh, good thing I let off before it blew up. It already happened. Meaning the car went lean, then the sensors picked up that it went lean. So the event already happened. It already went lean. It already had an issue. It already saw a spike. By the time you let off and think you captured it, then you do this. Let's say that everything is really hot, right? Because AFR spiked. And you let off and you let it decel like a psychopath in gear. Shutting everything off. And then you slow down and you see a little bit of smoke coming out of the back. You're like, whoo, thank God I saved it before it blew up. No, it already blew up. Fuel trims and fuel pressure is what you should be watching, because by the time you see fuel pressure start to drop, let's say you're wide open throttle and fuel pressure is slammed at 65 PSI on a 10 PSI car or a 12 PSI car. And then you see it to go, like at 6,500 RPM, you see it go 65, 60, 55, boom, you let off. You saved it. Why? Fuel trims are still happy. AFR is still happy. Fuel pressure started to go down. But you don't have a fail-safe when fuel pressure goes down. If you have a fuel rail pressure sensor, the injectors make up for the fuel pressure loss up to a point until it can, and then se acabó el party. So just because you monitor AFRs doesn't mean anything. I never reach faster than when that clip is played. That's what I thought, Kyle. Now I need new speakers. I keep my fingers hovering above the mute button. The neighbors, no neighbors here. It's not playing. Like, it's not playing audibly here. It's like the mic, the speaker is this, and I just unplugged it because I'm getting a headache, and it's just too much pressure on my ears. I don't know how those people do a 3-hour podcast with those in there. It would hurt so much. AFRs, one more reason why you don't live in seasons. Why would you risk it if you don't have the money to throw it away? So, yes, a lot of times people compare their seasons times to summer times. Alex, I don't understand. I went 460 to 130 in 29 degree weather. Right. Now it's 85 outside. A full 60 degrees hotter, and your car's not going to perform the same. Why not? I was actually thinking about that. It's really ironic, but damn, okay, thank you. I will look into gauges, fuel pressure, and fuel trims. I've got a fuel pressure gauge that shines bright red into my eyes. If fuel pressure goes below a specific amount, that will save the motor if a pump drops during a pull. Absolutely. What he reached during the Diddy clip, the volume knob or climax, there's a desktop audio. I'll show you here. This is going to be trippy, but we'll see if, okay. You see this? Right. Oh, shoot. Let me see. Display. Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Display, live chat. There we go. Okay. So right here is my desktop audio right here. See? So when I play a clip, so let me play the clip with low volume, right? You see that, right? But then if I jack it up, it will go. Fuck. I love it. Here we go. And then that's it. Cool. Yeah, just giving you like a view into the panel. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. It's 11 o'clock. Got to go to the gym, work on, everything. So today we talked about the diesel world reacting to the diesel world potentially getting a break from the egregious consent decrees that were sent during the Biden administration, giving them a break. But again, I made the case that if you actually defeated emissions in a very obvious way, then you should reap the consequences of of that action. So I'm not a big fan of people that want to just justify rolling coal all because Trump is in power. No, you Clean Air Act is still a thing, and they only reverted back to fuel emission standards back to 2020, so that you can't roll coal because Trump is back in office. So please stop that. We looked at home prices, see how much different it is, and then we just talked some shit about if a diesel runs lean, is it hot? And Tony the truck guy and everybody and their mother got in there and got after it. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Talking Shit Tuesday. We'll hang out then. I'm going to attempt a 60 to 130 today with the GT500. It's going to be a little difficult. I'm not excited about it because I built the car. I don't want to go really far to test because I did that last time with the Corvette and it blew up way the fuck out and I had to drive it back blown up. That was trouble. So I'll do my best to get 60 to 130 time to finish a video. I have a video. So I'll try to get you a video tonight. If I don't get you a video tonight, I'll get it up tomorrow. Hey-o. And then we'll reconvene on Tuesday. Have a good rest of your weekend. A happy Palm Sunday and whatever the hell you guys do. I'll see you guys on Tuesday.